So, when we have the conversation of who the best shooting guard in the NBA is, I think it's only right that we say the name Anthony Edwards.
Grant, 6 to shoot, 6 to shoot. Edwards extends, creates space.
Anthony Edwards never fails to amaze us with his highlight moments on the floor, and unlike some guys who are simply just exciting moments, Edwards is someone who poses real skill that leads to him having his way with the defense night in and night out. Over the past 7 games, Edwards has scored 241 points, while shooting 55% from the field and 49% from deep range. When you watch him operate, you quickly notice that he has many ways to dissect the defense. As we all know, he's one of the best slashers in the game, so defenders will tend to back up when it seems as if he's loading up to attack, but this just allows Edwards to use that punch dribble to flow into a step back for straight cash. Not only will he light you up from deep off the handle, as he can be a reliable option to swing it to when he's spotting up, and it doesn't matter if you try to close out, he's already laser focused. Now, just as we touched on the first play about defenders backing up slightly when they think he's going to drive, well, it's for a good reason, because when you try to jam him up off the screen by coming up high, this grants him the option to attack at you hard when turning the corner, and with the stoplight being green, he smashes right through the intersection.
Turn the corner and punch it home.
Being able to affect the game from the inside out like this leaves the defense in a bad position where they have to play him honest at all times. But this is truly a recipe for disaster when you're playing guys who love to get creative. When pushing up the floor here, as a defender, you start sliding your feet and angling your body to guard a drive to the rim, but this is when Ant can immediately rise up over the top of you to bury it from deep. And then when you do try to stay in front of him on the break, he has this sneaky gear he can shift into to blow right past you, and here we go.
Got up for the downstroke.
For a lot of players in the league, the fast break is a time where they can get their game jump started, and this is the same for Edwards, except he'll use it to warm up his moves as well. It's one thing to just speed to the rim at 100 miles per hour, but when you can deliver the in and out to break off one defender, to then get downhill to serve that smooth euro to evade the help, this whispers that I'm in my bag. And then when you get surrounded by 3 defenders, most will usually slow it down, or with Julius Randle running the floor here, they will look to pass it up ahead to set up an easier bucket. But with Ant having one thing on his mind, he pushes right at the defense with no hesitation and finishes a reverse layup to let you know that he's locked in. With his game now warmed up, he takes us into his half-court offense where defenses struggle to contain him on a nightly basis. When starting with his finishing inside, Ant is converting 68% of his driving and cutting layups and dunks, just getting to the rim whenever he chooses. With his 3-point shooting being something defenders have to key in on, you're going to see 2 contest him on the outside. And although he does miss, this here is a key detail, because now with one of the defenders leaking out and the other one being a big who has to chase back to his man on the offensive rebound, this gives Ant the perfect angle to cut on this backside to the basket. And right now he does have this dump off to Jaden McDaniels, but with superb athleticism, he just glides right over White to finish off the glass. When keeping his 3-point shooting in mind, you'll have defenders pressure him up tight to try and take away an easy look, but this is where as the offensive player, you get the ball out of your hands and now you meet the physicality with some of your own by pulling the defender towards you while you shoot towards the basket right past them. And then to beat the help defense, this is where that spin move comes in handy to get to that left hand for the layup. Now other times, instead of it being himself that moves the defender off of him, the Timberwolves will run him off the screen and break him away from his man, and since the switch comes a little late, Edwards already has a head of steam going downhill to go ahead and complete this bucket through the contact. Now I understand that when we talk about Edwards, we usually don't highlight his speed, but go ahead and ask Ryan Dunn how it felt to be left in the dust when Ant blew right past him to get all the way to the rim with no resistance. It's not that Edwards moves on the floor like De'Aaron Fox or anything, but his acceleration to the basket is up there with the best, and by the time he gets there, he's not worried if his 2 defenders on him with one rotating over. He'll make the smart decision to not go up on this left side and instead use the rim as protection to reverse this in for the and one.
The corner got the reverse and one. Ant-Man in full effect.
For the defense, it's highly important that they're all locked in on what's going on, because if you end up getting screened while Edwards is receiving the ball with a clear path, he could choose to elevate for a 3-pointer, so that's why you see the big starting to step out. But this does a couple of things. Not only does it allow Rudy to roll to the rim uncovered, so Ant could send it over the top, leading him inside for a bucket. But what it also does is allow Ant to attack the big head on to blow right past, and once he hits that launch pad, there's no stopping him. Like really, it's already hard enough for defenders to guard Ant when he's gunning right at him. But I'm telling you, when he utilizes that change of direction to shake them and then speed right down the middle, this is when he bakes them. You'll often see this change of direction initiated the most when he's receiving the screen from far out, because this forces the big to step out and usually guard him the way he's coming off the screen. But if you look closely, this now opens up an angle for Ant to cut back the other way, and you're just not catching up to contest this. Now trust me, it won't be every time that he needs a screen, as he can get saucy with that handle to snatch a defender before bursting to the rim to go finish. Or if his man beats him to the spot with the chest-to-chest contact, he can transfer that energy into a spin-off into the paint to go finish through the contact. A lot of the time when he's using that change of direction, the defense won't even see it coming, as he'll slow it down before using those choppy steps to cross right past him to go grab 2 points. But just like we touched on with those screens earlier, it's not necessarily the most abrupt change of direction, but with that angle to cut back like we discussed, instead of using that handle to cut through, Edwards will bring the ball down low while ripping through the outstretched hands of the defender. Into the rack he goes. Young guys like Edwards took this move straight out of the notebook of James Harden, as he was known for making guys guard him one way to then sharply make his move in their direction while keeping it low to not only avoid the strip, but to also bait the foul. So now once Edwards is en route to the basket, he can complete the bucket for the and one.
Edwards on a run, got the lay-in and the foul.
This move here is probably one of the best you can use as an offensive player when you're in a tight spot, because no matter how tight the defense is, they certainly don't want to draw a foul when you go for the split. So the lane just magically opens up for you, and now it's up for you to go finish. Now with this move, he can get a little crafty with his facilitating, and by that, I mean he can use it to draw multiple defenders towards him to dump it off to Gobert for an easy slam. And listen, with that keyword being crafty, Ant not only gets in his bag with that low carry, as he can snake into a defender to X him out the play, and then with the help standing right in front of him, he can use that jittery footwork to step right past him to get a warm-up layup at the front of the rim. I think some of us tend to get lost in the ball handle so much that we forget that it takes footwork as well to make it all work. When going at Achua here, Ant used that nasty cross to make Achua play stand-up twister, and then as Precious recovers, Edwards doesn't try and throw up a shot right over the top of him. He instead serves that up fake to get him on the trampoline, steps through off that pivot, and the high arcing finger roll is dropped in for 2 points. Ooh-wee! Yeah, things get nasty when Ant is fully locked in. If you're to have 2 defenders go at him, well, he'll push right through one to then end up shifting the next with a behind the back to go finish. When he wants to take you for a dance, he'll sign you up for that salsa class on Friday night to lead the way. And last but not least, when he has some dirty clothes that need to get washed, he'll throw them in that washing machine for the spin cycle, so once it's time to go party, he can go clean up nice. I'm trying to tell you, the inside game is nice. Take it from D-Lo, Ant's veins, well, they're filled with ice. And if you're enjoying this video, go ahead and drop a like, because we're not done just yet, as once the defense thinks the inside game is all they have to guard, well, they better think twice. Now that he has you so focused on driving the ball, this is when Ant can use that handle to create separation in that in-between area to nail a fade right over you. And trust and believe, it doesn't matter if it's 1 or 2 defenders who end up contesting, Ant is still gonna knock down that butterball. Over the years, his mid-range game has improved drastically with the way he can get to his spots to knock down shots, and when it's not the handle getting him into these pull-ups, Ant will put his back to the basket to muscle into a defender before fading back over the top. You would honestly think with a guy like Ant who can attack the basket with aggression that he would continue to the rim after spinning off Fox here, but this is how you keep the defense on their toes. Because one time, you'll use a spin move to flow right into a step back jumper, and then the next time, you'll feel the defender out, and with them playing heavy on this top side, this is when you leverage that weight distribution to spin off for the easy one off the glass. This creation inside the arc will lead to defenders backpedaling when Ant is coming at them off these screens. But here's where that sniping from deep comes into play. With Ant being one of the best 3-point shooters in the NBA, if defenders go under the screen, well, that's a headshot for 1 kill. If they fight over the top and get stuck while their big stays back, well, that's another sniper shot for 2 kills. And then if you let him get past the claymore to camp up top on a building, here comes kill number 3 for the UAV.
In his bag, as he indicates there with his 5th made 3.
Now for those of you that don't know what a UAV means, well, it's basically something that allows you to see the movement of all players on the field so you can make the correct move. And for Ant, it's like he always sees what the defense is going to do, and he can make them pay for any mistake in a quick second. If you're to try to help over when the pick and roll is in action, it may seem like the right thing to do, and it may seem like you're able to close out in time, but Ant will show you differently. Just like something we touched on earlier, when Ant knows he has an aggressive defender on him, he'll get the ball out of his hands to then shake the defender with his movement before getting the ball back, and if you get stuck underneath that screen, go ahead and kiss this one goodbye. That movement can work in his favor if defenders go under the screen, but also if they go under while he's moving up the sideline, then Ant can actually flare out to knock it down instead, and then if you chase over the top but your big plays drop, well, it's about to get hot. Listen, when you look at the best shooters in the league, they tend to have many ways to get into their looks. And when they do so, they do it with confidence. Like, you tell me, do you think someone who hesitates and isn't sure of themselves could knock down a shot like this?
Stein contesting Edwards, but it doesn't matter. He drains a three.
Or better yet, when the shot clock is winding down and you also lose the handle for a bit, do you think an unconfident player could do something like this?
Got it back, he's got a hoist and hit. How about that from Ant?
Yeah, I didn't think so. To be a player like this, you have to have elite work ethic and a belief in yourself that is absurdly high. Each and every time Edwards steps on the floor, he reminds us of just how talented he is, and that he is the best shooting guard in the entire NBA. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you're first to know when I upload. It means a lot that you guys watch these videos all the way through and show so much support so I can get in the algorithm, so hopefully we can hit 100K. I thank you all again, and I'll see you in the next video.